Due to a national shortage in the supply of epinephrine 1 milligram per 10 mLs, the OMD has authorized the alternative method to administer epinephrine in cardiac arrest and low-dose epinephrine in cardiac arrest. The OMD will now be using new terminology regarding epinephrine package labeling. In September 2016, the Institute for Safe Medication Practices reminded the medical community that the USP and FDA no longer allow drug manufacturers to use racial expressions on any epinephrine container labels except for local anesthetics with epinephrine. So as the inventory of old epinephrine packages depleted, the formal 1 to 1,000 and 1 to 10,000 ratio expression won't be on the container labels. They will now be labeled epinephrine 1 milligram in 10 ml and epinephrine 1 milligram in 1 ml. Should the need arise in a situation where epinephrine 1 milligram per 10 ml is required for administration but no stock is available, it is satisfactory to dilute epinephrine 1 milligram per 1 ml to the appropriate concentration, as this presentation will show. After reviewing this training, you will be able to list the supplies needed to dilute epinephrine 1 milligram in 1 ml to 1 milligram in 10 mLs. You will also be able to demonstrate the steps to diluting epinephrine 1 milligram to 1 ml to 1 milligram per 10 mLs. You will demonstrate the steps to mixing epinephrine 1 milligram in 10 mLs to create push-pressor epi for a concentration of 1 to 100,000. You will be able to list the supplies needed to prepare an epinephrine infusion using epinephrine 1 milligram per 1 ml and demonstrate the steps to preparing an epinephrine infusion using epinephrine 1 milligram per 1 ml. The supplies needed to dilute 1 milligram per 1 ml of epinephrine to 1 milligram in 10 mLs of epinephrine are as follows. You will need a 10 ml normal saline pre-filled syringe, 1 milligram of epinephrine 1 milligram per 1 ml ampule, and a filtered needle. Using a 10 ml pre-filled normal saline syringe, expel 1 ml of fluid. This will leave you with 9 mLs of normal saline. Carefully break apart the ampule and using a filtered needle, withdraw 1 milligram or 1 ml of epinephrine into the syringe. You have now created epinephrine 1 milligram in 10 mLs. Using your newly created dilution of epinephrine 1 milligram per 10 mLs, you may now create push-pressor epi. Please do not create the push-pressor epi until needed during patient care. Taking a second syringe of normal saline, expel 1 ml. Take your epinephrine 1 milligram per 10 ml and add 1 ml of the medication to the syringe. Mix slightly, and you have now created push-pressor epinephrine, concentration of 1 to 100,000 or 10 micrograms per ml. In order to create low-dose epinephrine infusion for cardiac arrest per OMD protocols, you will need the following: 4 milligrams, 4 ampules of epi 1 milligram per 1 ml. This could be, again, in the ampule or vial form. A 250 ml normal saline bag, a 60-drop IV tubing, a 10 ml syringe, a filtered needle, and a regular needle. Now to create low-dose epinephrine infusion for cardiac arrest, withdraw 4 ml of normal saline from the 250 ml bag. As a reminder, only agencies with IV pumps can use low-dose epinephrine infusion. It is a recommendation of OMD to make sure that all supplies required for low-dose epinephrine infusion be packaged together. This video is for educational purposes only. Please follow your agency's safety procedures and protocols and use the proper PPE when preparing low-dose epi. Please remember that you only need 4 ampules or vials of epinephrine 1 milligram per 1 ml. You should not have any more than that in your possession for this procedure. Once you have drawn up 4 mLs or 4 milligrams of epinephrine 1 milligram per 1 ml, push the medication into your IV bag. Mix slightly, and you've now created a 16 microgram per ml solution. Once you have mixed your low-dose epinephrine infusion, your steps for setup are as follows. Spike the bag with the IV pump tubing, flush the tubing with the mixed medication, and make sure that all air is expelled from the bag and the tubing. Turn on your IV pump, navigate to the programmed CA for cardiac arrest, epi drip, type in the appropriate values, and connect straight to the IV catheter in the patient. Do not use a saline lock. Now our low-dose epinephrine infusion review. How many ampules or vials of epinephrine 1 milligram per 1 ml are needed to dilute to 1 milligram per 10 mLs? The correct answer is A, 1. Only 1 milligram of epi 1 milligram per 1 ml is needed to dilute epinephrine to a 1 milligram per 10 ml concentration. How many ml of saline flush are expelled to create epinephrine 1 milligram per 10 ml in a 10 ml syringe? The correct answer is A, 1. 1 ml of saline must be expelled from a 10 ml pre-filled saline flush syringe to create epinephrine 1 milligram per 10 ml. How many ml of epi 1 milligram per 10 ml must be drawn into a pre-filled syringe to create push pressor epi? The correct answer is A, 1. 1 ml of 0.1 milligrams must be drawn into 10 mLs of saline to create epi 1 to 100,000 for a concentration of 10 micrograms per ml. How many ampules of epi 1 milligram per ml are needed to prepare an epi infusion for cardiac arrest? The correct answer is 4. 4 ampules or vials for a total of 4 milligrams of epi 1 milligram per 1 ml are needed to prepare an epinephrine infusion. What size IV bag is needed to prepare an epinephrine infusion? The correct answer is B, 250 ml. An epinephrine infusion requires a 250 ml bag of sodium chloride, normal saline, to create a 16 microgram per ml concentration. If you have any questions, please contact OMD or your agency's training officer. Once again, videos used are for training purposes only. Please follow your agency's safety procedures and proper PPE when mixing epinephrine. Thank you for your time. Have a great day, and thank you for everything that you do.